you guys for joining me for Passion Talks. This episode is going to be about what the latest documentary on Netflix. It's talking about the show that we all are familiar with, especially here in America, The Biggest Loser show. It was on for over 10 years, I think it was. But this documentary on Netflix is shedding light on exactly what went on behind the scenes of this show, the good, the bad, and the indifferent. Now, the reason why this hit home for me, because believe it or not, as a personal coach, um, I have always used that show to talk to people or say, for an example, how that show and many other like it sheds light on or show losing weight in an unrealistic way. And it never talks about years later or show you years later what the participants look like and how they either kept the weight off or did not keep the weight off. It also did not, when we watching the show, it doesn't tell you the things that you forget they're doing. They actually leaving their homes. They're no longer working. They're devoting 6 months sitting, living on that ranch. They have nutritionists. They have somebody waking them up every morning during the daytime, telling them to work out. With anybody in that scenario, you are going to lose weight. No ifs, ands, or buts. So that was the easy piece, but they don't emphasize that in this show. And I get it. The people worked hard. They got up and did the workouts and things such as that. But as later on, this documentary on Netflix revealed is that a lot of them was taking supplements or supplements in which it was not healthy for them to take, like overindulging in caffeine, doing things that just not in alignment to losing weight healthy, far as basically only drinking or eating a very small amount of food during the day, especially when the competition got tight. And that's not healthy weight loss. And even though they had a doctor on the staff, no one listened to the doctor because it got so wound up in the pressure to lose weight and in the pressure to win the prize money became more important than actually losing weight healthy. They had actually, which was interesting, I think it was 3 or 4 people who had actually on the show. And unfortunately, each one of them gained the weight back. And not just gained the weight they had, but put on even more. I will say, I think it's 1 or 2 either was pretty much kept, didn't go back that far as far as gaining weight, but still had weight on them. And that's the thing that I'm always, as a personal coach, is emphasizing. Using that show for an example is that it romanticizes losing weight, but it doesn't emphasize the importance of keeping the weight off after the show, after the people leave the show. How is their life? Are they able to maintain what just occurred? And you won't be able to maintain that because life happens. You actually have to go to work. You actually have to not have a nutritionist. You actually have no compound that has nothing but exercise equipment around you. You actually have to put in the effort to go after these things way more than waking up and you on this compound and all you see around you is exercise equipment, nutritionists, and cameras. That's a whole different type of element. Anybody in that type of situation is bound to lose weight. And that's why it makes it hard for personal coaches when you have the average person who sees these shows and think it's, oh, if they can do it that way, great, because the show doesn't give you the nitty gritty of what's going on behind the scenes. So if you have not, and if you do have Netflix, please take a look at the documentary. If you're struggling with your weight loss, if you're not struggling, just great information or a great documentary to see. That at the end of the day, that I'm always telling people is that no matter what's new on the market, and I've been in this industry long enough to see things come on the market, it was the end all to be all. Even with the Ozempic is out there, there's not enough evidence or research done or enough years to go by to see the side effects of it, of taking that medication when you don't have diabetes. Remember, that medication actually came from diabetics who needed it for their disease. And now when they found out it's a great way to lose weight, people who don't even have diabetes is taking the weight loss or the Ozempic in order to lose weight. But I digress. Let me get back to the show. So I say all that to say, if you get a chance to look at the documentary on Netflix, please take a look at it. It was very informative, very educational. And one thing I really took away from it too is that out of all the people on that show, the producers, the participants, the coaches, the number one person who was standing up and saying, you guys are doing this wrong, it's not healthy, and was really sounding the bar and getting on the producers, the coaches about, you guys are doing this wrong, it's not healthy, was the doctor. So it is a saving grace to me to know that it is always going to be someone who's going to bring light to this darkness. And he was doing his best to have everything done correctly and healthy. Unfortunately, the producers override it and the coaches did not listen. And now we got these participants who are telling their stories, and their stories are unfortunately horrific. And the reason why it's horrific because many of them are still living with the damage they say they felt or the abuse they got from the show. And that's not what it's supposed to be about. So when I'm telling people about this show, this is why I had no idea it was this severe behind the scenes, I must admit, but I did recognize that what was being presented was not the true essence and true transparency of what's going on behind the scenes. I've been in this industry of health and wellness long enough to know at the end of the day, no matter what people may say to you and what people may put on the market, at the end of the day, to keep weight loss off, it has to be consistency. It has to be consistently improving on your eating, your workouts, and doing that every day, basically. If being active every day, especially as we get older, you don't have to work out hard and lift tires and run marathons, but every day you should be active. That's the best way you can keep weight off of you as we get wiser or older, as I say. And that's been proven, and that's been proven decades after decades. So one thing that has stayed consistent was that way of losing weight and doing it the healthy way and not compromising your body, your organs to be later on actually been harmed because you was using taking things, supplements or steroids or things that was not meant for you to take in long doses or continuation of using this type of supplements in this type of way. So I can go to a whole nother video about that, supplements and steroids. But that's a whole nother show. But just a reminder, just do your best. You know, if you need help, go to a actual certified personal coach. And if you know that coach is the first thing they hand to you is a lot of supplements and encourage you to do steroids, you need to go the other way. Because even though you may see weight loss, the probability of you keeping it off is very slim. Okay. And then secondly, if that coach leaves you, then what you're left with? You're left with the unknowing, not knowing how to keep weight off or even make sure you doing it in a healthy way. So make sure you surround yourself with a coach that knows what they're doing, that's promoting healthy weight loss. And if you're not getting that, run, please run, because at the end of the day, you will be glad you did. I'll leave you guys with that. Remember, health and wellness is a everyday journey. It's no quick way to do it. It's no quick weight loss program that's going to keep the weight off. It's just continuously being consistent in what you're doing. Hard work, dedication, trying to eat best. You don't have to be 100%. I'm not 100% as far as eating and working out, but I do it every day. And I strive to do better each and every day. And it's part of my lifestyle. It is my lifestyle. I put it that way. So, guys, don't give up hope. If you're struggling with your weight, if you have questions that I can ask, please let me know. Send me email, text, or what have you. Put in the comments or what have you. I would love to help in any way I can. This is only to just promote and encourage people that if you're struggling with your weight loss, you can lose the weight. You just have to get the right people around you or person, or either get your mind with enough knowledge to know how to do it in a healthy way. So take a look at the show. Hope you guys get a lot out of it. I did. And until next time, God bless. Bye bye.